Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, March 10th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for a reverse aging health call tonight at around 9 p.m., and we're going to be discussing some mind-boggling, earth-shattering information about the vaccines. And eventually the whole planet's going to have to know about it. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. A Course in Miracles. So what does that exactly mean to us? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Because everything outside of us is an illusion. It's no different than walking into a holographic theater room and actually interacting with people and doing things and taking a trip and whatever. It seems real, it feels real, but it's an illusion. Every few hundred years, our entire system needs to fall apart so it can rebuild itself in a more enlightened and grounded way. Our jobs, finances, schedules, health, and daily routines require a massive reboot, so we all can be rewired in a new light. And we are fortunate to be living at such a rare time on this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, that it is like no other time in history. And a lot of people have stated this repeatedly in many different ways. This is a special era that will create a deep transformation in the psyche of every human being, Homo sapien, on a profound psychological and spiritual level. Okay? This is a special era that is creating a deep transformation in the psyche of every human being, Homo sapien, on a profound psychological and spiritual level. The pessimists might say, this is the end of the world, while the optimists will see it as the beginning of a new one. We see it as the beginning of a new one, the new earth. When the system starts pushing us into completely unmasked for direction, how do we respond? Right? When the system starts pushing us into a completely unasked for direction, how do we respond? Maybe we initially try to follow it. Then we rebel and ignore it. We become afraid, attack it, and then rigidly cling to our old, comfortable, known ways. The most enlightened way, one of the most enlightened ways to handle global changes is to first become very quiet and still inside, so we can feel our feelings and listen to our intuition. When our mind becomes silent, we can easily hear our spiritual guides. They speak through our heart, not our head. Okay? That's a big difference, because people then will say, well, then that's bicameral. No. Speak through your heart. That's where the spiritual guides speak through your heart, and will always guide you towards the highest path containing the most joy, health, safety, and pleasure. This promised paradise is heaven on earth, and it all occurs when we are devoted to quieting our minds. Why? Because the veil is removed, and we discover the God that we are in the body. And the God is the heaven on earth. The body is the earth. The God within the body, the soul, the God within the soul is the heaven on earth. The kingdom of God is within each and every single one of these bodies. When our mind becomes silent, we can easily hear our spiritual guides. They speak through our hearts, will always guide us towards the highest path, containing the most joy, health, safety, and pleasure. This promised paradise is heaven on earth, and it all occurs when we are devoted to quieting our minds. You are the host, and thoughts are your guests. You are the master of the house. The house belongs to you. Receive your thoughts. Take care of them. But don't get identified with them. Otherwise, they will become your masters. Osho. This universe knows we have an eternity of time ahead of us. So there are a billion creative ways to expand into it. This allows our souls extremely adventurous, deeply creative, and willing to take great risks, such as sign up to experience the wildest, richest spiritual experiences of them all, the great apocalypse. It's good to know that the root word of apocalypse stems from the Greek word apocalyptine, which means to uncover, disclose, and reveal. Right? See, a lot of people on this planet were taught to, ooh, the apocalypse, the end of all things. The root of the word apocalypse stems from the Greek word apocalyptine, which means to uncover, disclose, and reveal. We are in a time where the world is going to unmask and unveil the full truth. Okay? We are in a time where the world is going to unmask and unveil the full truth. Never been done before on this planet, ever. The soul knows this body is going to die, be reborn 100,000 times more. So it's wanting to explore and experience every unique way of life possible. In every moment, this universe is whispering to us. We are constantly surrounded by signs. Coincidences don't exist. And synchronicity. All aimed at propelling us in the direction of our destiny. Denise Lynn. If you ask anyone, right? There's strangers, anybody. You ask anyone, we all agree we are all definitely in need of more conscious, enlightened, peaceful environmental, healthier, and less toxic planet. I think we all know that. Some more than others. You take 5 minutes to listen to the news, and you're teetering on the seesaw of end of the world type of hype. It's vast. It is the most extensive ever deployed onto the people of planet Earth, right? Teetering on the seesaw of end of the world type of hype. It's enough to make any superstitious or religious person believe the end of the world is very near. Remember one thing above all. There are no endings, only new beginnings. There are no endings, only new beginnings. It's like our journey is endless. Do you think our journey is going to end? No. The beginning of this new awakened age is manifesting itself everywhere. Because the old decaying levels of goop, parasitical feeding of control and tyranny have been worn out. This world is dysfunctional. and desperately needs to be upgraded into a more enlightened model. A new world is coming, a new earth, and the question everyone wonders is, what will the new earth, new world look like? Perhaps a better question to ask yourself is, what would you like it to look like? This is very important for all of us to understand. What would you like it to look like? Focus on that through the heart-mind. We are all truly the architects and inventors of birthing this new world, this new earth. We are all truly the architects and inventors of birthing this new world, this new earth. Do not think for a moment that someone high up there in the great government hierarchy has strings making you their puppet. Do not think for a moment that someone high up there in the great government hierarchy has strings making you their puppet. That thought itself is purely giving away your power. You are only a puppet to the great spiritual God source, and no one else, period. Remember that. And everything will be just absolutely spectacular. Every individual on this planet is an essential puzzle of the great grand design. We are each sculpting, painting, and envisioning what we believe is the grand masterpiece for this new earth. We are all manifesting it together. We are creating our own personal masterpieces on how we believe it will be. Now, if we think it is going to be in alignment with how a more enlightened world would look and feel, the more profoundly positive an impact we will have on it, as well as inspiring everyone in our paths. We are constantly creating the future through thoughts, beliefs, and actions about what we feel is going to manifest. The macrocosm is a holographic blueprint of the microcosm, and vice versa. The more each person imagines and feels this world, each being imagines and feels this world as moving into a more conscious, peaceful, environmental, healthier state, it adds to the collective consciousness and organically pulls everyone in that direction. See, this is why, and I know a lot of you feel it, you sense it in your heart minds. The threat of nuclear war. You know, our parents went through that. We've gone through it, many of us. The threat of the end. You know, the ending of everything by the boogeyman. It's old. It's worn out. Don't you feel it? It doesn't grip us like it did decades ago. It doesn't even come close. Our direction is we're concentrating on the lives we want to live, the way we want the new earth to reveal itself to us. We're creating all this. The lack of interest and excitement or fear in war and conflict, it's not there. No matter what they do, no matter how much propaganda they throw at us, it doesn't stick anymore. You notice? Yeah, you look at it and you go, yeah, all right, I've heard this one before. It's not out of arrogance. That's out of the heart-mind knowing that this is absolute garbage. It's just stuff that they keep throwing at us. We are constantly in this higher path that reaches for the enlightened state of consciousness is very contagious. This higher path that reaches for the enlightened state of consciousness is very contagious. It is ultimately what every soul is seeking. Now, if and when they are aware of it or not, we all crave freedom. And this is what spiritual awakening is. Even though some people get caught in craving money and power, eventually they realize where the real power comes from. The spiritual path will find them too at the perfect time. Every brother is a gift because every person is unique. Every being is unique and brings something new to the table. There's nothing like newness to stimulate rebirth. St. Francis of Assisi. To get more clear on what your new world will look like, simply ask yourself this question every day. What is the most important thing in my life? What is the most important thing in my life? Take time to dwell on it deeply. What is this specifically for you? Invite yourself on a personal journey towards profound self-discovery and bring many ascended masters with you. Because quite frankly, we are all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. So that means we're all enlightened ones. We've been there, done that. We're all Buddhas, which means enlightened one. Christ, the same thing, which means enlightened one. Those are not names of people. Those are terms, descriptions. Everything is us. We are everything and nothing. Remember that. Imagine that your soul's job in this life is just to play, right? You will grow, learn, and evolve, of course. Yet what it really wants is to let go and enjoy the journey. This means to be fully alive and to be totally in each moment. Do not be afraid to mess it up. It is already divinely messed up. You can throw whatever paint you want on the canvas and just see how it adds to the masterpiece. Mess it all up if you want. This is how the soul learns. Think of the new world coming, the new earth ahead, as the greatest invitation from God to express your ultimate creativity. Remember, this life is a spiritual exploration, not a material. Which means you must choose to let your light shine at its brightest in the way that feels wildly good to your heart and soul. We are always inventing some new experience and perception of reality. Why not create the most amazing one of your life this year? And an ancient Zen teaching, where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. Every thought we are thinking is creating some feeling with it. The more we can let these feelings in and touch us, truly surrendering to them, the more empowered we will feel to manifest the life we really want. When we feel our feelings completely, in the most intimate way, we stop being afraid of feeling afraid. You ever done that? Have you ever being afraid of feeling afraid. And whatever dramatic situation you're dealing with will only let your brightest colors shine forth. The reason why the global collective consciousness would want to manifest such a thing as apocalypse is simple. It gives instant birth to our deepest spiritual experiences of this life. We must stop relying on the outer world for gratification. We are forced to move into the deepest place within ourselves, where we will find our spiritual connection with God. This is where we will find true satisfaction, inner peace, and compassion for humanity. The path to this divine state of freedom has always been available. Yet to reach and touch the deepest bliss within ourselves, we may need the ultimate pressure and dysfunction to push us there. It is spiritual poverty, not material lack, that lies at the core of all human suffering. It is spiritual poverty, not material lack, that lies at the core of all human suffering. Paramahansa Yogananda. The beginning of this new earth, however you want to have it, new earth, new era, new existence, new world, consists of a partial awakening jolt and a profound, deep surrender. The unhealthy situation our planet is facing is forcing each one of us to stop playing small, helpless, powerless, victimized, poor, and disconnected from the God source. It's awakening everyone to get off the couch, take massive action, and become the most authentic, abundant, fully self-expressed, divine, awake consciousness we can be. The first time that we let our divine, all-powerful nature shine forth, it can be quite terrifying because we have to surrender to everything and let go of everything who we knew ourselves to be. This is the only way to create enough room to let our full selves come blazing through. It is the meeting of our deepest fears which brings out our fearlessness. It is the meeting of our deepest fears which brings out our fearlessness. It is in our darkest hours that we will truly stand up and call forth an unstoppable faith from within. The deepest yearning we have is to express our greatest love and highest potentiality. It is only through a staged apocalypse that the peak consciousness, every soul on the planet must shine forth. It is only through a staged apocalypse that the peak consciousness, every soul on this planet, must shine forth. The soul does not care how it is done. It just wants the light to totally come out of hiding. The God source is already awake, alive, and wants everyone to endlessly radiate this amazing love and creativity that is burning inside everyone. It wants us to realize that we have the power to manifest anything we choose, we want, we desire. and use this internal fire to make our dreams come true. It is in the divine rekindling of the spiritual fire that the soul gives birth to a new dimension, direction, purpose, and meaning. Anytime we are faced with intense suffering, we are forced to dive into our core stillness to find peace with the pain. When the majority of people on this planet are aware of and feel the pain this planet is in, they will dive into their own greatest stillness and spiritually awaken to the God source that is living within them. With any dramatic change that happens in this life, intense pressure is needed to break the tight protective shell holding life in stagnation. Apocalypse is how we will stop procrastinating and force ourselves to spiritually step into our deepest and highest potentiality. We must say yes, choose to say yes to it, to bring forth the great gifts it has to offer. We must choose to use this time wisely for our own spiritual growth, because that is what it is for. When people are truly dedicated to the divine, there is no difference between action and prayer. Mother Mira. Explore new horizons. We're all going to have those opportunities coming up here very shortly. The most enlightened I have found so far to deal with apocalypse comes from a deeper knowing that the future situations, right, we all will be forced into contain the most amazing, hidden, deep, eternal lovings in disguise. There are no coincidences or accidents in this life. Nothing is ever by pure chance. There is a sweet spiritual healing about to take place, and a grand master enlightenment plan that our souls are committed to experience here. We simply need to recognize that our souls are the only thing that is real. Everything else will die and fade to dust in just 10,000 years. Find that which never dies. Stick close to that 24 hours a day. Start with honoring, bowing down to, and paying your deepest respects to yourselves. We simply need to recognize this. Our souls are the only thing that are real. Everything else will die and fade to dust in 10,000 years. Find that which never dies and stick close to that 24 hours a day. Start with honoring, bowing down to, and paying your deepest respects to yourselves. Know that deep inside you is the greatest divinity which you've been seeking to find through everything else for your entire lifetime. Just by surrendering to this spiritual quest, all of our needs will be met. Make this surrender your living purpose every day. You will not be disappointed. I promise that. It is good to know that inside all of us is something which does not quiver in the face of fear. This is the essence of who and what we are. On the spiritual journey, we will find more power, wisdom, peace, knowledge. that we believed was possible, then we believed that was possible for a human to have, we will discover that there are no physical words that can describe how amazing we all are. The spiritual beings who we are real. And they are not something imagined. Just like the air that we are breathing, just because we cannot see it doesn't mean it's not real. Just stick your head under water and you'll realize that it is supporting the life that you're living. Your soul is real. So there is no need to hold your breath during the end and beginning of this new era, because there is no ending. Just breathe even deeper, more fully, slowly, and bring your whole attention and energy into the stillness. The wild, flowing movement of this life can actually make us become even more still, calm, and centered. Being super-centered in the essence of who and what we are means we have no thoughts or concepts about it. It is what it is, and it is naturally embracing and loving everything that is. By practicing stillness, we are not forcing any negativity away. It's more of an invitation to welcome the wildness of life, to be consumed by this calm, quiet, centered energy at our core. Doing this will invoke the deepest clarity out of any tension or confusion our minds have become obsessed with or are holding on to. Life is just a game. To remember, you're already perfect. Life is just a game. To remember, you're already perfect. Once we get our minds to be calm, quiet, and meditative, we've won the battle. The rest of the journey consists of pure revelation and enjoyment of this connection with the divine. It really doesn't matter what happens in the outer world after the inner battle is won. You realize that the God source is all around us and inside us. We are awake and aware that each being is an infinite spiritual presence who has always been with us and will always be with us on this grand infinite journey. We will be able to see it, feel it, and be comforted by this divine setup. No matter how challenging our lives, situations can become. The day the incessant commentary of the mind is taught how to be quiet, calm, and still, a brilliant light ignites in the darkness, and everything in this universe becomes crystal clear. We cannot know how busy, stressed out, and complicated the mind is until we get it to stop. It has made our lives become a neurotic escapade and is responsible for trashing this beautiful planet. The day we can grab hold of the reins and bring it to a halt is the moment the enlightened state begins to enter us all. Go with the flow of where this universe wants to take you. Trust it. It knows what you need better than you do. Sure, it may be scary at first to relax and let go and trust the unknown. Yet when you fully surrender to trusting it, you suddenly overcome with inspiration and excitement as the divine creative energy comes flooding in. Ultimately, when we look at the truth of who we are and what is actually at the core of what is, Life is a blank canvas. There is nothing that we cannot paint on it. At the very core of us is pure stillness, emptiness, and an ever-expanding consciousness that welcomes any experience that may present itself. There is no thought, action, or experience that is forbidden, which this universe will not allow you to have. The universe is deeply eternal, loving, infinite, creative energy, and wants us to have every and any experience in this life. The more rich and diverse the experiences, the more mature our souls become. We instantly catch a glimpse of how truly calm, expansive, and clear life can be when there is an absence of the mind. There is absolute clarity. It's in this enlightened state that all of our deepest desires and dreams will effortlessly manifest themselves. We will see the vision of how we are going to turn this world, this earth, into the most beautiful and divine playground. The calm, centered mind is the birthing womb for everyone's spiritual awakening. The secret or discovery is training the mind, which takes an ounce of discipline and a ton of surrender. The secret of discovery is training the mind, which takes an ounce of discipline and a ton of surrender. It takes our willingness to let go of how we normally approach everyone in our lives and greet everyone as they are, the divine. It may feel a bit unusual at first to be so deeply reverent, in awe, and at peace in the midst of the apparent chaotic ego mind. Yet, when we can see through to the truth of who we are, we can see the truth in them. Just be. We will know we are fully awake when we see the infinite being on the inside and the outside. We will be able to manifest anything we want in our world because of this. Whatever we can dream of happening, we can step into the reality of that dream. This is the adventure we are here for. This spiritual awakening is our path, purpose, mission in this life. We were born for amazing experiences, and now is our time to let them manifest. It is our turn to celebrate, laugh, and learn how to really enjoy this amazing adventure called life, called enjoyment. It is a spectacular, energetic field that we have created. This field is saturating not just ourselves, but everyone on the planet. Well, how can that be? Because we affect many around us. We always have. We just never acknowledged it because, the ego mind, well, you feel guilty and, oh, that's being arrogant or something. Not through the heart mind. It's a matter of fact. Isn't it amazing how many of us Okay? Understand, I always make this clarity, not the head, not the ego mind, but the heart mind. How many of us worship ourselves? How many of us bow to ourselves? Hold ourselves in the highest esteem? Why not? After all, we're the God within the body. What is more sacred and divine than that? You see, so many of us, we are so hard on ourselves, and we judge ourselves and ridicule ourselves and come hard down on ourselves. Call ourselves stupid and oh God, why did you do that? You know, these even little statements. When you pray to yourself. It's like when you want someone to heal, no matter where they're at on the planet, right? And you want someone to heal and they're distant, you focus on your God, that which you are within the body, the heart, through the heart mind. And the God that you are, not the body that you're in, but the God that you are, you focus on connecting with the God that they are and the body that they're in. Hence, the healing process begins. And you focus on everyone being happy, healthy, abundant, prosperous, and at peace with themselves and everyone else outside. It is a strange thing for many to go there, okay? Because the ego mind wants you, all of us, to judge the surface, to judge it, to judge the actions, right? Doesn't it? Aren't you pulled to judge others at times? Don't you want to make a comment on how this person, well, look at how fat they are. Or, man, do they smell? Have you ever find yourself doing those things, critiquing someone because of their appearance, how they act, what they do? And what is that? It's a diversion. What's the diversion? It keeps you away from the God that you are. And it plugs you in to the ego mind's mastery over you on everything material and physical. Really? How many of us, when we do become ill or sick, focus on that as part of the adventure? What am I noticing in this body? You know, the things that are affected, my fatigue, or, my stuffy nose, or my cough, or my aches and pains. And you talk with the body. Those who continue to seek outside themselves in the material physical world will suffer. Those who have decided to go within to discover the gods that they are within the body will flourish, expand, and gain more knowledge, more experience. Knowledge is nothing without experience. And so what does that mean? It just means that they're on the same journey, but they're a little behind, right, from discovering who and what they are. There's still gods in them. And those gods are radiating out all colors of light. Our auric field. It is amazing that you see these auric fields, and some of them are purple, some of them are green and orange and blue and different shades of blue. And I mean, mesmerizing. So we have this, and it's all good. See, that the auric field's all good. Someone might be learning more, so they have more orange in their aura. They're learning, right? Others have more violet purple and dark tints of blue. Which means what? Which means they have gone more into spirituality. If you look at the colors of the chakras for the body, which are etheric, they're not something physical that you pull out and set on the table, but they're energetic ports. And a lot of those colors show up through the aura. We are purely walking divine beings in these bodies. We are divine perfection. We never change. Everything that changes is not real. Everything that doesn't change is real. You, in that body, are real, the God that you are. Everything outside of the body is not real. And do not rely on the mind to comprehend that, okay? Because you'll walk up to your couch or whatever and touch it. You get in your car and hold the steering wheel and touch it. Well, how can that be that it's not real? But man, I'm feeling it, touching it, smelling it, tasting it, whatever. How can that be not real? That's how powerful the mind and ego are, because that's what creates everything outside of you. And I've seen this happen so many times. Somebody says they would like to see a tree, right? Not fully grown, but a tree, sapling, seedling, that's going to grow, maybe an oak tree or maybe something else. They'd like to see a tree fully mature in this one spot. Lo and behold, right? A few days go by, and they look at the spot, and there is a sapling broken through the ground, and it's about 3-4 inches high. That's the beginning of the tree that they manifested. You ever said to yourself, wouldn't it be, you might say it to yourself, maybe to someone else, wouldn't it be nice if this area here, you're usually using your hands, right? This area here was real serene. Wouldn't it be nice if there was like a water area for the animals and more trees? And not so much butchering of the land, but more trees, water area. Lo and behold, you have set that force in motion, which is the God that you are, and the universe is moving the energy into form, creating it into reality, so that you can experience it. Now, it may not, like it happens in 2 days or something. It may be that over time, a water area is formed, and more trees grow in, and more animals are there because of the water. Okay? And you may recollect long ago when you had said, this is the very spot where it seemed so blank, and the very spot where you wanted to have this water in these trees. Exact spot, and you look and you say, that is the God that I am. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. You're doing everything right. Actually, you never ever did anything wrong. Your mind was just judging you and your decisions as wrong. While your entire human life on this earth and its divine destiny was always going according to plan. All of your life's desires, difficulties, complaints, and injustices were karmically designed to make you grow. It's all perfect. They are the salt that makes your stew taste so damn yummy. To sit back, taste yourself without judgment today. Look into the mirror with clear, kind, compassionate eyes, and tell me what you see. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. And we'll return here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. And Saturday, March 11th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be kind, gentle, humble, generous to yourself at all times, and be in deep gratitude. Practice, practice, practice. And we never run out of things of being grateful for. This will shift your whole frequency.